come over to start training Luca, who is one of our newest residents. He's an Amur Leopard that joined us from Colchester Zoo back in November 2021. He is incredibly important because Amur leopards are the world's rarest big cat species. There's about 80 to 100 of them in the wild, and there's only a couple of hundred managed internationally on captive breeding programs. So he's joined us to be our new breeding male. Now we're going to start with very, very basic stuff. I'm just going to be blowing the whistle, which is, it's going to be the noise that he associates with nice things. So it's called a bridge. I'm going to blow the whistle, give him a treat. So he's just going to get lots and lots of nice things today, and then as we go we're going to progress with each session, and eventually I'm going to add in things like a target stick. We'll add in other things as well. And the eventual aim for this training, especially with Luca, is to get him vaccination trained. I would like to have him opening his mouth on command so that we can check his teeth, which is really, really important. And also what we want to do is try and get him tail trained so that we can take bloods from him. By doing this, it means that he won't have to be darted or sedated for blood work. It's been much more beneficial for him and his welfare. We can regularly check his kidney function. We're also wanting to take blood from Luca because as part of this international breeding program, and then hopefully an eventual release into the wild one day, it's really important that we're testing each of the Amur leopards within the program to check for certain traits and whether they have certain qualities in their genetics. So it's going to be really important to get a blood sample from him, and if we can do it whilst he's conscious, that's even better. Touch. 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 So what I'm trying to get him to do is focus on me and not on my hand or the bucket. Then when he looks at me, I'll reinforce him, and then I should get his complete focus. So that was only Luca's third session of training, but over the course of that session, you could clearly see he had learned what he had to do when I presented him with the target. It took a couple of attempts, but he learned if he touches his nose at that target, he hears that whistle, he then gets the food reward. So he's a really, really quick learner, and I'm really excited to see just where we can take his training sessions. Touch. Touch. Yeah. Touch. Touch. Come on. Contact. Contact. Point. Contact. Contact. Well done. So we learnt last time that Luca is a pretty quick learner in that he picked up what touching the target meant and how it meant good things. He's just blown me away because this is only the fourth session, so I wanted to build on touching target, which he's mastered. He's following that all over. And what I've done so far is just kind of stayed in one place and just move the target a little bit around, but actually walking along the fence line, he's following. This little log area that you can see is like a crush area, so it means that we can bring the cat closer to the mesh and then do things like medical care, vaccinations, blood draws in time with the cat nice and close. Session 4, he's already coming into the crush and laying down beautifully. So I thought towards the end of the session, let's see. And he's letting me touch him already. So the word contact and then just touching him with the end of the target, him getting that treat, he's just slowly learning that actually it's fine to be touched because he's getting nice things. I'm a little bit blown away by how quickly this boy is learning everything. And actually I did notice at one point his tail came through there really nicely, so I think that's where we're going to be doing the training to then get him ready in time for these blood draws. And going by the way he does learn things, it might only be a few sessions time by the time we're at that point, so we'll see. He is amazing, really, really amazing. So today's the day that we are hopefully going to be vaccinating Luca. He looks like he's ready. I'm ready, and we're going to bring in Michael, who's going to be administering the vaccine. Contact. 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 Luca. Okay. Contact. Well done. As always, super proud of Luca. He's had his vaccine, so that's all we asked for and all we wanted. Took a couple of goes to actually get the full amount of the vaccine in. It was just the initial feeling of the needle going in that kind of made him falter and turn around and get up, but 2 or 3 more times of being reinforced with food chunks and the whole amount went in. So he's now vaccinated for this next year, so he'll have full protection. Next steps are now to really work on that tail. We already know that he's comfortable with it being touched, but it's only been 1 session, and he was amazing in that session. We want to focus on getting him used to it being manipulated. Then we'll be putting pressure on, giving it a bit of a scratch, shaving it with some clippers, and then poking it with a cocktail stick, ready for hopefully Michael to get a blood draw from him. It'd be so good because if we can get bloods from him at a younger age, it just means that we'll hopefully be able to maintain that training and see how his kidneys are doing as he gets older. Also really helpful and important for the breeding program purposes to get a blood sample from him so we can just see what's going on with his genetics as well. Stay tuned for part 2 where we're going to be hopefully getting a successful blood draw from Luca.